taking a selfie now.
No, I've only got to say something.
Hey.
The Mocko Show, South Africa edition, begins now. What is up, everyone? It is your boy, C Money, coming at you from my fourth continent ever visited, Africa, specifically Cape Town, South Africa. It is... I don't know what time it is. I have been working off of 4 90-minute naps in the last 2 days. A little delirious right now. I am very ripe. It has been a wild 48 hours, but I am here. I am healthy. I have to be grateful for that. But I'd like to recount what has happened in the last 48 hours. So, on Friday, I get a text from United. Hey, there's going to be some bad weather in the Midwest. Your flight to Chicago may be affected. Oh no. I crossed my fingers, prayed for the best. Monday morning arrives, and I'm greeted with an alert that says, hey, your flight at 12:30, 4.5 hours from now, has already been canceled. Oh no. Oh boy. Stressed for a second, found another flight to Chicago that was leaving in an hour, ran through security, got to the gate, and the captain actually walks out and makes an announcement. The flight has been delayed.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
We're gonna board at 11 a.m., but the earliest that will take off is 12:30.
Oh no!
Not fun. Apparently Chicago had to deal with some winds. Chicago, of course, known as the city of brotherly love. I am realizing that I'm not speaking as coherently as I believe I am in my head. Thank goodness there's editing. You're not gonna get all this rambling, or maybe you will. Okay. Flight's been canceled. Got on another flight. That's delayed 2 hours. 11:45 rolls around and the captain comes out again. Hey, we have an update. Now Chicago has closed all gates. Nobody's allowed to park their planes here.
Oh no!
Another update. It's now going to be 1:30 when we find out if those gates open.
Oh god! Oh god, I gotta get out of here!
Kind of like my dating life in Boulder. You think you're about to board that plane, aka have a really good first date, and at the last minute, she ghosts you. She's 45 and has 5 children. Oh, they're into yoga.
Oh my god!
And then all of a sudden the captain comes out. Hey man, she's just not into you, aka your plane's not ready to take off. I make that third call to United. 70 minutes of waiting. Ugh. By this point, I've probably listened to almost 3 hours cumulatively of United wait music. If I hear it again, I might be triggered and go crazy. Please, let's not hear that noise ever again in my life. I talked to the rep. Oh, we can rebook you, no problem at all. I did have one question. Hey, I kind of checked in a bag. Is that going to be an issue? She said, oh no, if your flight's not for a couple hours, shouldn't be a problem.
Calm down, everything's gonna be alright.
Relieved. Grab my backpack, hustle over to the other terminal, get on my flight to Munich. It is a 9-hour flight. I get in some movies, okay naps of 60 to 90 minutes, a little bit of reading, a little bit of journaling, plenty of really good food.
Oh yeah!
And an assortment of wine, beer, some plum winter drink that was delicious. Maybe Bailey's on the rocks. Hey, it's Monday. We're not racing till the weekend. Let's take advantage of this awesome service.
Oh god, now where are we?
We land in Munich. Munich just so happened to get snow the night before as well. Once we land, we sit on the tarmac for another hour. That's actually okay by me because I was halfway through The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington. It ended up being pretty mediocre, but got it in. It is 10 in the morning, Munich time. My next flight isn't until 7:05 p.m. I get to the Lufthansa. Why I have such a hard time saying that. Lufthansa. I get to their lounge. They have breakfast spread out, beer, wine, full bar at 10 in the morning, which is a little early for me. Snacks galore. Holy moly! Every single Haribo candy that you could think of, cookies, they had it all.
Oh, and did I mention showers?
Get to my terminal. We sit on the runway for a very long time, de-icing the plane. There was a ton of snow on the... Ooh, we just went out of focus. Okay. Also, a quick aside, I believe I'm shooting in 4K right now. The quality should just be a little bit higher. All right, back to the travel. Oh my god, this is so enthralling. Land in Cape Town. Please, Please have my luggage when I land. Immediately go over to the customer service desk. Have you seen a black Nike bag? No, we have not. Please tell me it's not in Chicago. Sir, your bag is in Chicago. Best case scenario, it's going to be arriving Friday morning. The race is on Saturday. There's a huge mandatory gear list that would be very hard to drum up by shopping here in South Africa. If the luggage doesn't arrive, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. We'll cross that bridge. Cross a bridge or a road? I think you cross the bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to Friday. Big takeaway, never book a flight through Chicago. Always pack what you're gonna need absolutely essentially on a trip in your carry-on so it's on your persons at all times. I've learned my lesson. I told you about my stinky clothes. I don't have any clean clothes. We'll do a little inventory now to see exactly what I have with me. Hoodie that I brought for the flight. Fancy business socks. 3 chapsticks. That pretty much covers the clothing that I brought. United was nice enough to give me a sorry we screwed up bag, and that includes double XL shirt, exactly my size, a razor, comb, toothpaste, oh thank goodness, deodorant. And then finally I went on a bit of a shopping spree. Pair of size 11 flippies, sweat shorts, fresh t-shirt, 1982, which I've heard is a really good brand. Sweet. 3 pair of socks, pair of running shorts, the big splurge items, 2 pairs of briefs. That's all I've got. Anywho, that pretty much covers the last 48, 72, who knows how many hours it's been. I still have 3 days to recover and regroup before the race on Saturday. Okay, this has gone on long enough. What's up, what's up? It is Friday. I don't know if you can hear the bump and beat. It looks like there's going to be a party this evening right there, which is not ideal because I have a 2 a.m. wake up expected to get to my 4 a.m. race. So please tell me this is one of those parties that starts at 4 in the afternoon and finishes at 7 p.m. because otherwise we might have a slight issue with the noise. I know it's all about the bass, but not when you're trying to sleep. The last time I talked to you was Wednesday, very early in the morning. Airlines had lost my luggage. Since then, we have gotten a ton of updates. 0 updates. Frustrated am I, as Yoda would say. There is a 0% chance it will be here in time. So I had to get a little creative today with my gear checklist and race attire. I reached out to some guys on Instagram who live here, who are followers of the Mocko Show. They scrambled around. One amazing guy in particular, Dirk, showed up at the race expo with a huge bag of everything I could possibly need. A vest, a buff, a thermal, a rain jacket, bladder and flask options for hydration, the foldable cup I would need, the Band-Aid. He actually bought me an emergency blanket, a couple batteries, a hat, another jacket, and a headlamp. Dirk has literally single-handedly saved my race. There's no way I would have been able to gotten all of that stuff on my own. Dirk, if you're watching, you are my biggest fan. Thank you so much. I had to buy a couple extra items. My general rule of thumb is if it's gonna touch my crotch, I should probably own it and not borrow from somebody. So I got these sweet Ron Hill half tights. There are no Nike trail shoes in this entire town. I am wearing some Asics tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed that they feel good tomorrow. By the time I arrived, expectations were already pretty low for this weekend. The goal is just to finish. So all I gotta do tomorrow is run 100K, climb 14,000 feet. Let's just go do it, okay? Good morning. It is race day, baby. And I'm coming at you live from the doorway of my hotel room. Why, you ask, am I in the doorway? Cue Jerry Seinfeld bit. What's the deal with hotel lights? Why are they so hard to find and so inconvenient to turn on? This is the closest light switch to my bed. Here is the light switch. Here is my bed. Light switch. Bed. That's just dumb. Did not expect to wake up this early. I probably got 1 hour of sleep last night. For everyone out there who says 2 nights before is the most important night for sleep, I beg to differ a little bit. I got some serious bags under my eyes, but good news, I got plenty of concealer. The night before a race is often a little bit challenging to sleep. It was made slightly more difficult by a house DJ that was playing directly across the street. Lots of boom, 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 boom. And you could hear some woman grinding on a guy's thigh. Definitely not the best way to get some sleep the night before the race, but guess what? I can't worry about that right now. I have a race in exactly 3 hours. Holy moly. All right, I need shower, coffee, a little bit of food, head over to the start line. Let's go do this. Since it is 1 in the morning, I might as well take advantage of this opportunity to talk in the hallways. I wanted to tell you the parable of the hungover half marathoner. Don't want to admit that this is based on a true story because it's actually based on many true stories. And the story goes like this. A runner goes out the night before a race, has a couple too many drinks, gets to bed a little bit later than expected, but knows he has to wake up in order to run a race. He gets to the start line. He's feeling awful, but guess what? He's got to do it. Goes out feeling terrible. In his mind, he's thinking, hey, this can't get any worse than how I'm feeling right now. And when you have that attitude, every mile has to get better. And it does. Your body starts to warm up and suddenly you're racing and being competitive. And that's how I'm going to approach today. If I can get through the first 10K, I can get through anything. Time for coffee. It's Tuesday after the race. I'm now in Brussels. There are a lot of kids doing pranks and shenanigans. They were laughing at me while I was filming at my other location. I don't want to get bullied by these mean little high school students. The race itself started at 4 a.m. Got to the start line, jacked up on coffee, had a chance to catch up with some of my Swedish friends.
Hey, you guys know why they call it a drop bag? Because that's the point of the race where I'm gonna drop your ass!
Then the gun went off. First 2 miles were downhill on a road, so I took off as the speedster I am, which gave me plenty of time to get caught by a ton of runners. Around 7 miles into the race, hit a bit of a bad bump in the trail, and I rolled my ankle really, really hard. A couple minutes of expletive shouting, limping along, focused on what I could control, which was continuing to run a smart race. Soon after that, I took my first bathroom break of the day, looked around, didn't see anyone, snuck behind a boulder. Literally the second that I dropped my pants, the third place woman ran past me. She turns, we lock eyes. She would be haunted by my smell for miles to come. We started the race in the dark with headlamps, ran around Lion's Head, which is a pretty iconic spot in Cape Town, then headed up Table Mountain, one of the most brutal climbs that I've ever done in a race. 2,500 feet of climbing, rocky terrain, bagpiper halfway up. To any race directors who may be listening, definitely hire a bagpiper for your race. It definitely makes a difference. My man Dirk was on the side of the trail cheering at some place called Hoofd Clift, Hoofder, Kluftkamp.
Chris! Well done, well done!
Anywho, got through Table Mountain. The next section, 10K of running along the plateau of Table Mountain, which was completely engulfed in fog. Boardwalks, rocky, narrow trails, rock climb up, narrowly get through on the way down.
Just get my money's worth out of these sandwiches. Were they feeling faster for the South African runners? I feel like they were probably.
No! Go, Chris!
Really started opening up, feeling good. I slowly worked my way up the field, talking smack. Smell you later, sucker. I didn't actually do any of those things. Got to the beach section, 45K into the race. We had just gone through a pretty long descent on roads, and my ankle had really started acting up. Made a really big mistake of looking at my ankle, seeing how swollen it was. The pain really picked up in the next 5K. I'd also fallen and reopened a wound on my hand, so I had blood all over one hand. Got to a pretty low point. The heat did not help. I decided at that point, I'm gonna drop out of the race. Why don't we turn to our man on the field who can actually tell you exactly what went down. Off to you, Mr. Mocko.
I am 34.5 miles into the race, done more than 9,000 feet of climbing on some of the most technical trails that I've ever run on. The next aid station is about 2 miles away. And unfortunately, I think we're calling this one quits. I know you guys are gonna get mad that one, the camera's down here, but two, it's probably shaking like crazy. Deal with it. At least you're getting live footage. This is what I'll say. The travel, the bad sleep, I was able to push that all aside. And when I got to that line, I was 100% focused and ready to go.
Mocko?
Hey, girl. Got caught talking on my camera, so I guess that means I should wrap this up. The last thing I'm going to say is I have absolutely no regrets about coming here. Can you see what's around me? Holy moly, this is so pretty. I have zero regrets about this experience. This has been a fantastic weekend. I'm definitely going to sit down and reevaluate next year. My brother has said this once, he said it twice. Maybe these longer distances just aren't for me, but the challenge of trying to get it right really does motivate me to keep on trying. Staying positive, not disappointed with today at all.
Spoiler alert, I didn't actually drop out of the race. I kept going, and I'm so grateful that I did. Part of that motivation probably came from getting passed by Kelly Wolf, who saw me filming myself in selfie mode.
Oh, I'm gonna get my pants.
Awesome job, Chris. Ran down to the beach, popped as many pills as I could, went to the medic, he gave me more ibuprofen. My mental state completely changed, and I think the big takeaway there is you need to be prepared for low points, but also know that you're gonna get out of those low points. Continuing on, 60K into the race, we ran through some neighborhoods, almost got hit by a couple of cars. Made it to the final aid station at the University of Cape Town.
Keely is behind you, Chris. Move it.
Does that help?
It'll be embarrassing for you, Chris.
Hydrated one last time, and then had a final climb before the finish. Put my head down, hands on my knees, and bust my way up as quickly as possible. I was able to get to the top of the climb, got to a point where I couldn't put down any food. My head was throbbing with pain. Ran the final 3 miles really hard. Got to the finish with a smile on my face. Was proud of what I had done. Obviously not being relevant in the results is never the greatest thing for an elite runner, but this is a stepping stone to big things to come next year. Having that mental test, battling through it, is definitely going to help out in the races to come. The next day was awards. Had a chance to catch up with my Swedish friends who happen to be the most fun partiers in the sport as well. We had a great time there. The finish line had the most gorgeous views of Table Mountain, and it was just a great way to finish up the weekend, celebrate the race, and get excited for the year to come. Hopefully we'll be recovered by the end of this week. Cape Town, South Africa is officially a wrap. We are out.
This is your moment on the Mocko Show here. Do you have any advice for our listeners?
Pack hand luggage when you race. Pack all your race stuff, hand luggage, always. It's one of those things when bad luck strikes, you need luck to balance that out. The mountain men were available to sort things out, and it wasn't the gear you expected to run in, but it did the job. 100 kilometers done. Really well done.
These are the heroes for the day.
Cheers.
All right.